Today's guest is Bryan Curtis, also known as my husband. Bryan and I have been married for 21 years. We actually just celebrated our anniversary. But he's not just my husband, he's also my best friend in the entire world. So here we are on the friendship tour. Hi, Bryan.
Hi, Cecelia.
Welcome to the friendship tour.
Thank you for having me. I feel like I've been along for the ride for a while, but thanks for making it official.
Yes. Thank you for being here. And thank you for coming along the whole journey. Thank you for encouraging me and just being a great support the entire time. You're a really, really special guest. Of course, you're my husband and my best friend, but you're also the first man guest on the friendship tour. So, how does that feel?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that because I kind of feel like I'm treading in still waters. This is like untampered territory. So I'm glad to be the first one to kind of talk with you in this way. I mean, this is just an extension of what we do every day, all day,
Yeah.
what we've been doing for the past 21 years. So I guess now everyone's just listening in on our conversation. But yeah, it's cool. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do this.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being the first man. We actually have quite a few men who listen. So I think it's important that they get to hear your perspective or a man's perspective from time to time. So thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. I have a couple things I want to talk about today. Actually, tonight. It's quite late while we're recording. The kids are in bed. This is the only way we could get it done.
Yeah.
But I have a couple things I want to talk about. But first, you, like everyone else, you have to answer some pretty basic friendship tour questions. Is that okay?
Okay, here we go. Let's do it.
Here we go. Where did we meet or how did we meet? And I don't want you to give the garbage Brian version of the story. I want you to give,
See, there's only
I want you
one
to give the
version.
real version of where we
Th-
met and how we met.
There is only one version that is the correct version, and that is exactly how I remember it.
Okay, we'll see how it goes.
I mean, you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth. So, okay. So we met a long time ago. All right.
Uh-huh.
We were, well, I was in school. You were coming to visit
Yes.
where I went to school. And when you came as a prospective high school student, um, you were visiting the campus and you were staying with uh, a student who lived right next door to me. She was one of your previous guests
Hi,
on
Maura.
Hey Mora, what's up, Mora? Previous guest on the friendship tour. And yeah, I don't know how much you want me to go into, but I'm going to tell it like I tell it.
Oh, geez.
Okay. So this is what happened. All right. Well, I heard that there was a student who was staying next door, and my roommates just kind of casually mentioned things, as we did. Um, and I heard that there was someone who may have been attractive, who was visiting and staying in the room next door to us. And one day, over that weekend, I was kind of sitting up in my room. This is okay. I'm going to take a sidebar here, all right? Because I know what today's topic is, all right?
Yes.
Today's topic is chemistry, right?
Okay.
Am I
Yes.
putting it out there too much by
It's
saying that?
fine. It's fine.
Well, see, this is why it's important, okay? It's important because that was like present all throughout from the very, very beginning, all right? I happened to be in my room studying right in front of my window. And what was I studying?
Organic chemistry.
There you go. Right. So
I
from the
forgot about
very
that.
beginning, from the very beginning,
Okay, I
this is
totally
about
forgot.
chemistry. Okay. All right. So anyway, I was in my room studying and I happened to look out my window and someone was sitting outside my window. All right. And I know that that wasn't like chance. I knew you purposely sat outside my window because I know you knew that my room was overlooking the balcony where you happen to be sitting.
I,
So,
I didn't know that because I didn't know you. So this is where we get into the garbage Brian version
nah, nah, nah.
of the
So
story. Okay.
you knew that I was right next door, and so you purposely sat outside on the balcony right underneath my window,
Okay.
and I happened to be in my room, and I was studying, and I look out my window and I see someone sitting there, and I thought, oh, she's new.
New.
See,
Okay.
maybe, maybe she's the person that, my roommates were telling me about or just talking about casually. So I just kind of thought, well, now's a good time to take a study break.
Right. Right.
So yeah. So I took a study break and I went downstairs. I was on my way to the gym and I just happened to see you still sitting out there waiting for me to come. So so I said, hello. I was like, hi, I'm Brian. And, you introduced yourself and, we started talking and stuff. And you, um, you had a certain way about you that was kind of distasteful. And I mean, and the reason I say that is because
Hold on. So distasteful that you married me.
that's beside the point.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So, so I introduced myself, and I said my name, and for whatever reason, you seem to have difficulty understanding what I was saying. I said my name is Brian, and you said Ron, and I said no, Brian. And when I spelled my name, you said, "Oh, that's stupid." And of course, I think, like, who is she? Who does she think she is telling me that my name is stupid? So anyway, we have words, and
I never said your name was stupid. I said the unique manner in which it was spelled was maybe stupid. Yeah.
right, exactly. Well,
There's a difference.
right, uh-huh. So anyway, I wasn't going to allow that to just go unchecked. So
Okay.
we had some words back and forth. And yeah, I told you how things were going to be if you decided to come to the school and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I walked off. And as I was walking away, I thought, the nerve of her. Who does she think she is, you know, trying to tell me that my name is stupid or how I spell my name is stupid? Anyway, at that point, I decided that I was going to keep an eye on you to prove that you were going to behave the same way that I told you you were going to behave.
I think there are other reasons you decided to keep an eye on me, quite frankly. Um, and I will insert here, hi, Ma, to my mother-in-law. I think Brian's name is beautiful, and I think the spelling of his name is unique and wonderful. I do. I do. But at the time, I was 17 and I didn't exactly know what to say. Um, I don't know. I'm socially awkward still at times, so it is what it is. But
It is what it is.
whatever, it made me memorable. And here we are, 20 something years later.
I mean, that's the truth. At that point, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna prove that she is something. And so,
And I am.
you okay? Yes, yes, you are. And yes, without a doubt, you are something. That's something that you are varies from time to time, but you are definitely something. But from the very outset, there was a spark. Now, what that spark was,
Okay.
there was something memorable, and there was a spark from the very outset, for sure.
Okay. I would say most of that story was your version, but there are parts that were true, but we'll still move on. How would you say we're similar?
Okay. Well, I think that by and large, you're a pretty calm person. You know, pretty calm, pretty low key, laid back, and I think you're a very reasonable person. And I mean, those are things that I think we're similar in that regard. You know, we're both kind of laid back and chill, and I think we like to think about things. You know, we like to think about things, and we approach things in a very similar manner, and systematic manner, if you want to, think about it like that. But we approach things in a very similar manner, and we share a very common faith. Um, we share a common background. Our upbringings were very similar, and that allows some things to be very, very easy. Um, I think that allows things that we discuss and perspectives that we have um, to align, and that again has allowed things to be somewhat easy. Um, so I think we're very, very similar in our core.
Our core. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Um, how would you say we're different? This question is probably more fun.
Uh, yeah. Well, okay. Okay. So, I think I've mentioned before that you've always been a happy distraction. You know, when I'm thinking about, okay, what work needs to be done, you're thinking about, oh, how can we play? Like even back in college, I'm thinking about, I need to do some work, I need to study. And you're like, let's go to the park.
That's
Let,
true.
let's go on the swings. And I'm like, no, no, I
But you
got stuff
did.
to
You
do.
did go to the park with me that day.
Okay,
You did.
again, a happy distraction, So yes, I went, and yes, I did have fun, and yeah, it was happy. It was a beautiful day. So yeah, we're different in that regard. I think you're very, very creative. You're very, very talented in ways that I have absolutely no talent. Um, that's also very attractive to me, if I can say that. But yeah. So okay. So the happy distraction thing, the talent thing, um, and then I think how we process our anger is
Oh
a little
boy.
bit different.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've always told you that you can get red hot.
Yeah, I think you're much, much slower to anger.
Hmm.
Much, much slower. I mean, I've only seen you really, truly, properly angry a couple times, like a few times in our marriage in 20 something years. I can
Yeah.
tell when I've gotten on your nerves or when you're deep in thought about something, you just kind of go quiet and then you come back and I I'm quicker to anger and I guess you're right. I'm just like I burn hotter, like I'm angry. Um I don't know. We're just different.
Yeah.
We're just different. But we work
Yeah.
together.
For sure.
All right, this one's extremely difficult because we've known each other for 20 something years, but what is your favorite friendship moment?
Okay. So you have no idea what I'm about to say. All right.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I
No,
do.
no, no. You don't know what I'm about to say. It's something that I think about, and maybe I've mentioned, but you probably won't identify it as like a favorite friendship moment. Okay.
Okay.
But as I start to tell it, you will remember.
Okay.
So, um, my favorite friendship moment with you um, occurred a long time ago, and it occurred over a summer. and it was a summer that was uh, filled with highs and lows, like high highs and low lows. But this was a period of kind of like coasting on a high. All right. We were away at school over the summer,
Hmm.
and had an apartment with my roommate, and that apartment was so sparsely furnished that like we had absolutely nothing.
There was no,
Like we had white walls and we had carpet in the apartment.
yeah.
But you came over to hang out, and we literally sat on the floor of the apartment and just talked
Hmm.
and talked and talked and talked in an empty apartment. I don't even know if we had lamps. Maybe we had a lamp, but I know that started out with, the sun up, but it gradually got darker, and we were just still sitting there on the floor, and we probably went from topic to topic, just talking. And that to this day is still one of my favorite friendship moments. And
Aw.
whether, I mean, we tend to, or I at least try to replicate that, or at least I find myself replicating that, because it still seems like we have some really good conversations where we end up just sitting on the floor, even to this day. You know, come home and, after the kids go to bed or something, like, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? And, we'll sit down, and ultimately I'll get lower and lower. I may start out on a chair, but then I end up sitting on the floor. And you may start out sitting on a chair or something, but we end up just sitting there. Nothing else going on, just talking. And that to me is just like, I don't know, it's deep, but it's light, it's fun. It's like I fully get to experience you for who you are, and I get to know what's going on with you, and you know what's going on with me. So, yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. And it was special. Like you said, no distractions, no distractions. And we do still have our best conversations on the floor. I don't know why. We have a bunch of furniture now. We can sit wherever we want. Um, but we still sit on the floor to have our best conversations. I want to tell you my favorite friendship moment. I mean,
Okay.
it's not my favorite. Like having a baby was a good moment, getting married, that's a good moment. But I was thinking about something that was just my favorite, and I'm gonna go with our first date.
Ooh.
And, everybody, not everybody, but first dates are typically awkward. People don't know what to say and they don't know how to behave. And I don't know, our first date, you asked me out, but in the time between when you asked me out and when we actually had the first date, you lost your driver's license.
That's true.
And for speeding,
For speeding.
for
Yes.
speeding.
Yes, that is true.
So
That is
you came back and you said, um, it's okay if we don't go out this week. I can't drive. And I was like, no, we'll just take the bus. And we took the bus on our first date because I didn't have a car. I was a freshman. Freshmen weren't allowed to have cars. But we took a bus on our first date and we went to a play. The play was not good. We went to eat. The food was fine. We talked about Wendy, you guys met on a previous episode. We talked about Wendy much of the night. But it was the last part of the evening that I wanted to kind of talk about. When we went to the corner at UVA, which is a part of Charlottesville, and there was this, I don't even know what the place was. I don't know, a game room, a bar. I don't
no,
know what
it's a
what
coffee
was
shop.
it? A coffee shop. I don't
Yeah.
even know what it was.
Yeah.
But we went to a coffee shop and they had games like checkers and
Mm-hmm.
chess and other games. So we took out chess
Mm-hmm.
and we played chess on our first date.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that that's an average first date activity, but I played my heart out, man. Like I wanted to win so badly. And you played, I don't know, I think you played your heart out. Like I felt like we were both playing to win. And we got to the end and I was looking at the board trying to figure out anything, any move, just trying to figure something out. And you just quietly said, I think that's checkmate. And I felt like the way you said it, it wasn't just the game. It was like checkmate. You know, like, like this is it. We're doing this. There's no other guy. There's no other date. This is. I mean, I don't know how
Oh,
you felt when you said
whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa. Now, you have never said that before.
Well, I don't have to tell you everything. You don't have to know everything about me
Okay.
all the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
But that's how I felt when you said it. It was
You felt
quiet.
checkmate.
I felt like checkmate.
Like
Yeah.
you're my
You
mate.
like you beat me at chess, but only barely. We were well matched. We had a good time. Um, but yeah, you did beat me, but you did so respectfully, and you just kind of put the piece down and you were like, I think that's checkmate. And here we are. Here we are, all these years later.
Here we
So
are. Here,
now you know.
so okay, okay, fair.
I have to admit, telling that story, okay, fine. I never told you that part before. And now I feel a little sweaty now that I've told you that story. Like, I feel like I just revealed something that I don't know,
well,
I've been holding in for a long
well,
time.
so so I was thinking about that. That was actually that was pretty high up there when I was thinking about like top, top moments, and like
Hold on,
that
hold
was
on,
a
hold
very
on, hold on. Wait, wait,
oh
wait.
okay, okay,
And
okay.
then after we played chess,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we walked back
Yes, yes,
and it
yes,
started
yes,
snowing. And we were
yes.
walking because nobody had a car.
No, 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 no.
Well, you had a
Well,
car,
yeah.
but you didn't, nobody had, I had a car, but it wasn't there, and you had no
Well, no, no,
lights.
no. So we were walking because
The
I
bus
mean
is
I was
silent.
having a good time, right?
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree with everything you said. The play that we went to see was awful.
Hmm.
It was it was a bad play.
It was very
It was
bad.
like bad college drama.
Right.
It was bad. Um, but then we went and got something to eat, and I mean I absolutely agree. I mean I was pretty impressed by when we were playing chess, and I thought oh so yeah, but I just remember having such an enjoyable and pleasant evening that when I looked at my watch and saw what time it was, I realized that the buses had stopped running. So we had no choice but
Hmm.
to walk back. Because, I mean, you didn't have a car, I didn't have a license,
Right.
and yeah, the buses weren't running. So we started walking back, and of course, where the corner was is by a very picturesque part of campus, part of grounds, and yes, we walked through the scenic part of grounds, and yes, it did start snowing. Like, like this is like totally Hallmark. This is totally a Hallmark.
It was.
I mean, I just could not have, I could not have imagined it being any more perfect. You know, but yes, it started snowing,
Yes.
um, and we stood there quietly and we looked out over the lawn and all that. And then we just kept on walking. And then of course there was the truck with the racial slur that went by. But never mind that. The guys yelled out
Yelled out
at us.
racial slurs on our first date. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. That was beautiful. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was but you know what? We just roll with it, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever, man. Like that's not messing up my night.
Yeah.
I'm here with my girl,
So I was your girl as
soon to
of that
be.
night.
It was gonna happen. That was gonna be it. Yeah. Uh, so
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it was just it was a great night. It was a great night.
Well, for months, I've been talking about friendship.
Hmm.
You've heard all the conversations. I've been talking with people I met all over the place. In second grade, I met Lauren. I've met a few friends in airports.
Hmm.
I've met friends at church, and I've met friends in college. And all these meeting locations are different. How I meet people varies from person to person, but there's one thing that's constant. Either we click or we don't. And I know some people call that chemistry. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with you, chemistry, not the science, but the thing that attracts people to one another, whether it's a friendship or romantic. And, I think I can feel the chemistry now just talking to you. And I don't know, I talk to you every day. So I know that our chemistry is a large part of what makes us work, what made us work from the very beginning to this point. I told you a couple days ago that I think it was our second date. I don't think it was our first date. I always felt very comfortable. The first date,
Yeah.
everyone has these awkward moments, but I always felt very, very comfortable with you. I felt like I could be completely myself with you all the time. And on our second date, all the walls, I think, just came down because, again, you didn't have a driver's license. So you said you were going to come pick me up, but you had to ride the bus to come pick me up. And when you got there, what?
I don't know.
You
Was
think
that
it
the
was the first
time?
date?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Go on. Go on. You
Well, it
tell
was
it.
the first or second date.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had to come pick me up.
Yep.
You rode the bus to come get me, which meant you didn't want to be late, but you ended up arriving too early. Like you were too early. So the way the dorm was set up, you had gotten into the common area of the dorm and the bathroom door was open. Like a lot of the girls just left the door open when we were curling our hair and it got hot and steamy in there. So you got there early and I was still in the bathroom curling my hair when you walked up. And I just felt like, what's the point? What's the point of going on with all this now? He's already seen my hair like half done and no makeup, and it just felt very comfortable. There was no reason to pretend. I already felt comfortable with you, but after that moment, I was like, all right, I guess I'm done getting ready. Let's go, and we just went on to have a good time. But I don't know. I don't even know if that's chemistry or if that's just you
But
caught
see,
me in
that's
an
that's
awkward
all
moment and it was okay. But
that's all part of it though. Like that's how you perceived it, but to me, it's kind of like she can roll however. Like she doesn't need to do all of that. She I like her the way she is. I mean, she's beautiful and doesn't matter if her hair is curled or if it's not curled. And, you know, it's much more important to me for us to hang out, spend time together, rather than you spending another, 4 hours trying to make yourself perfect, in order for us to go hang out and have fun. I'm like, I'm here now. Let's hang out, have fun. You're already beautiful.
aw.
Yeah, let's hang out. I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, thank you. I did just feel like, okay, we're good. We're cool. We're just going to roll with it. And we've been rolling with it ever since.
Been
So
rolling, been
just,
rolling, been rolling.
so what do you think chemistry is? How would you define it for someone?
So chemistry. You said kind of like not the science thing, but it's kind of hard not to talk a little bit about science when you're talking about chemistry because, I mean, it is science. But it's that interaction between two people in this situation. Let's say it's the interaction between two people where there is something deeper than the surface. All right, there's something that is going on that is producing a reaction. All right, and that reaction, in my opinion, it can be good, it can be bad, but there's something that is happening. All right. And there are some people that you engage and nothing happens. Like,
Like, All right, then. Nice to meet
All right,
you.
then. Right. Absolutely nothing. Like,
Nothing.
I think if absolutely nothing happens, that's worse than it being like a bad reaction, right?
Okay.
Because then that's not even memorable, you know? Um, yeah, it's like just being completely just unmemorable, and I forgot that you existed, that kind of thing on that
Mm,
level, right? Um, so chemistry is when there is some reaction that occurs between, two individuals or two, things that engage one another.
okay. And how do you know when you have the chemistry, or how do you know when you've clicked with someone?
I think you feel it. You feel that something has happened, whether that's a level of excitement, whether that's um, a level of interest, whether it's something that's memorable. Um, all of these are things that are reflections of something beneath the surface that has occurred, or some things that are beneath the surface that have occurred.
Okay. So I do need to know what made you think that we have or had chemistry.
Okay. I mean, okay. So, um, I mean, from the very outset, I mean, from the very, very initial encounter, there was something.
Hmm.
Now, we've already established that it could be good, bad, or, indifferent. But if there is something, now we could discuss whether that first something was good or bad, but it was something. And that something was memorable. So, this something that happened um, led to, you know, the possible future somethings that could happen that could be either good or bad. All right. So, based on that first encounter, there was a feeling, there was a sense that there was something there. And again, didn't know if that something was going to be good or bad, but it was something that was memorable.
And I would say it's all good.
Oh yeah. I mean, okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm being you know how I am.
I know.
It was something that was good, and I knew it was going to be good, but you know, there was a little bravado there going on, and um, yeah, yeah.
So what do you do if there's no, I mean, you kind of answered this, but what do you do if there's no chemistry? Like, do you just keep trying to make it work, whether it's
Mm-mm.
a friendship or romantic?
You just keep it moving, keep it
Just keep it.
moving, keep it moving. Like if so, there there has to be some level of attraction on some level, and by attraction, I don't mean necessarily romantic attraction. I
Yeah.
mean something that draws one person to another. If there's absolutely nothing that draws one person to another, then there's no interest that's there that would, you know, um, generate a desire for future contact. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about, on a friendship level or romantic level, whatever the case may be. There's just no draw. Like, why would I engage? Because
Yeah.
there's nothing there that brings me in.
Yeah, I guess throughout the course of the friendship tour, I've really been thinking about what has drawn me to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the same thing for every person, but it's always that the friend has some quality that I'm seeking, whether it's at that moment or that point in time. I know who I can call when I need a good laugh. I know who I can call when I need someone to pray. I know who I can call when my faith is a bit shaken. I know who I can call dot dot dot. And those friends aren't always like me, but I'm drawn to the thing that I want more of in my
Mm-hmm.
life, the thing that they have that yeah, I need more of, whether it's that day or my life in general. I'm drawn to how calm you are. I mean, you say I'm calm, but I think you're also being a little bit polite and kind. I mean,
No.
I'm drawn to how calm you are. You have such a calming presence in my life. I'm drawn to that. You talk about how I'm a happy distraction. I'm drawn to your discipline because you can't always go to the park. Like that's not how life works, you know? So I'm drawn to that in you and a bunch of other things, but I've really been looking at myself this whole process trying to figure out what is it that, you know, draws people to one another, that chemistry. And it's not one thing, it's different people for me, different qualities in different people. I'll put it that way.
You know, those are very interesting things that you just said. And, I think that it doesn't always take a long time to identify those things in someone. And again, I'm thinking of something, a specific event that happened that made it very obvious that there are qualities in you that clearly many people have identified. You have a lot of friends, all right?
Mm.
Clearly, based on the friendship tour, you have a lot of friends, and a lot of people identify qualities in you that are attractive. And maybe like you, they're drawn to you because there are things that they admire and need at a given moment or over an extended period of time. But they recognize those qualities in you and they're drawn to you, for that reason.
Mm.
But it doesn't take a long time to identify those qualities in an individual.
Yeah.
And I can think of a specific event as I was mentioning. Again, in college, I remember, I was with my roommates and we were cutting each other's hair. We were just kind of doing the thing. Everyone was standing around talking. We were cutting each other's hair, and um, we were talking about things that we are drawn to, qualities that we are drawn to, in a mate. Deep conversation for college guys. Like, what are you looking for? I mean, clearly I'm saying it in a way that is not the way that it was communicated in
When
college.
you were
But
20 and in college.
yeah, yeah. But that was the topic of conversation. What are you drawn to? And again, we were just cutting each other's hair, having a good time talking. And I remember they asked me that, and my answer was, you know, I painted a picture of the type of person that I was drawn to, and the comment was, "Ha, yeah, you'll never find that." And I thought, I already have.
Are
And
you talking about me? I hope so.
yes, yes, I am talking about you. But yeah, I mean, I again, there was a period of time in which I was observing and, kind of checking off the box, you know, those qualities that I happen to see in you. And that happened over a period of time. Um, I didn't check off all the boxes immediately, but over a period of time, I did check off those boxes, and that kind of presented and created a picture of you as a person. And that picture that was generated of you as a person was one that was pretty comprehensive, and you really, really did show to be the kind of person that possessed qualities that are very, very attractive, very attractive. And I guess that's why we've been married for 21 years.
Well, I think you're quite attractive too. How's that? But thank you, dear. I mean, obviously, we were observing one another, and I don't know. I think we were just meant to be. I definitely think we were meant to be. I think everything we do is, if we do it together, I think it's enjoyable in some way. I'm not saying that it's fun, but it's better if we're doing it together. It's a bit easier when we're doing it together, whether it's something as simple as laundry or it's cooking dinner together, um, or it's something more challenging like health issues or family issues or work issues. I just feel good knowing that you're in my corner. I'm in your corner, and we're going to get through it together. Um, I don't know if that has anything to do with chemistry. I think I just wanted to say that probably has nothing to do with chemistry.
No,
But
well, you know what? I mean, I thought about that too. All right, and I mean, I kind of thought about um, my relationship with you from the standpoint of like you're on it. You're a person that gets stuff done, and you know you are a wonderful and amazing person, right? And I just try to do what I'm going to do, and by that I mean, I had plans and goals and that sort of thing, but I kind of felt like um, you helped me to be a better person. And I mean, I definitely feel like I'm a better person with you and because of you. And I hope that um, I hope that I have a positive impact and influence on you as well. And I kind of I feel like the combination of us together is better than just the sum of two individuals. Like individually, um, yeah, the two of us together do more than either one of us could do, certainly alone, but just the addition of two parts, you know? So
synergy, right? Isn't that?
synergy, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, synergy. And that kind of comes back to chemistry too. I feel like we're synergistic, not just additive. Yeah.
Well, I love you. Thank you for
That was a
um,
Brian way of saying
that.
it.
That was such a Brian way of saying, but I love the Brian way of saying things because I love you. So thank you for being the person with whom I have the best chemistry. I have a lot of good friends, and I think we're friends because we do have good chemistry and we just like one another. But there's no one on the planet I have better chemistry with than you.
Oh,
I love you, and you're my best friend in the whole world. So thank you for being here tonight.
and I
All the
love you, and you're
chemistry.
my best friend also.
All right. I'll talk to you in a second.
Okay.